talk entitled The Future of Materials Recovery Facilities. With no further ado, the founder and president of D&G Pacific Corporation, Mr. Edmond De Malanta.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for that kind introduction, Leo, and thank you, Chef Maglanes, for inviting me. I learned from this webinar, and I'm happy that I got to listen to the other presenters and the speakers kasi tinatry ko i-connect yung mga natutunan ko at natutunan namin sa aming ginagawa. So let's talk about materials recovery facility in the future in the Philippines. So for those who are not very familiar with an MRF, that material recovery facility is a building to receive and sort, process, and store recyclable materials. It accepts materials whether it's separated from source or mixed, and separates processes and stores them for latter use as raw materials for remanufacturing, reprocessing. Some call it recycling, upcycling. Basically, there are 4 components in the MRF. Number 1 is sorting. Number 2 is processing. Number 3 is storage. Number 4 is load out. The MRF serves as an intermediate processing step between the collection of recyclable materials from waste generators like buildings, malls, hotels, restaurants, even neighborhoods. And this is the materials from waste generators and the sale of recyclable materials to markets for use in making new products. As it is, I made a list of those who spoke earlier, and meron palang nagre-recycle ng plastic, may nagre-recycle ng papel, merong gumagamit ng materials. The last speaker, Vanson Paper, was talking about where they use the materials and how it's being used for construction and how Tetra Pak has tapped them. So another important function is to maximize the quality of recyclables processed that will generate the highest possible revenue. Your hotels and buildings today have similar MRF facilities, or traditionally referred to as garbage rooms. This place stores the garbage generated and collected within a particular property before they are hauled by service providers like us to the destination. It can go to various LGUs. It also maintains and operates their own MRFs. So let us show you the MRF operational process cycle that we use. So what you're seeing right now is a process that has been used and being used, and we continue to enhance and to make sure that it still works. Na yung ginagawa namin is applicable pa sa kliyente, sa mga materials na nakokolekta. What you see here is you have that waste collection. It's brought to the MRF. We recycle for mga plastic, paper, metal, tin, tapos may organic waste, may food waste, may garden waste, tapos merong residual. All of this process we do in our facility. We have a facility, and we're building another new one by end of this year. But the point really is, this is a well thought process. This is not just a tambakan area na pag nilagay mo yung basura at kinolekta kung saan man, tapos na. Hindi yun. So the semi-automated MRF sorting process, which we see in different countries, and that's what I did for the past years. I visited facilities in Europe, in US, in Asia. Normally, step 1 is the haulers drop off the materials, tapos i-move ng conveyor yan para wala yung contamination, at saka the recyclables will be put aside. Third point is the machine will get the cardboards. Number 4 is madi-discharge yun yan sa may paper sorting. Tapos yung metals tatanggalin, the aluminum and current separator repels the aluminum cans and foil from the conveyor belt. So hinihiwalay yan ng MRF. Then the glass bottles and jars are separated from remaining plastics. I think everybody who's attending understands the MRF, what an MRF is. But what we're really pointing out is we are making sure that a process is followed from our services is from cleaning to hauling to segregating to, the MRF. We do recycling and then also upcycling. So the process for our organic waste naman, those trucks, we have our own fleet. We pick up, we segregate, and then we have a team that does recycling. We process it, and then yung organic waste na ibang handling nun. And what we want to do with the organic waste, and what we do is we turn it into a topsoil for food crops, because for the longest time we maintain one of the largest fast food chains here in the Philippines. So lahat ng poultry nila, 100%, we are the ones who maintain it. Tapos the idea is to have a products that will come out from what we get, what we pick up, what we recycle, and what we will upcycle. This is the model that that really works. Kaya earlier on, the first speaker was talking about recycling, the total recycling. This is what happens. Talagang walang tapon, merong waste, may pinupuntahan lahat. So I'd like to talk about the types of recyclables. Right now, the slide shows the plastic resin identification codes. Hinihiwalay namin talaga yung PET sa HDPE, LDPE, PP, PS, other. Bakit? Kasi may gamit ang bawat materialis na yan. We don't like to mix it just because we want to mix and we throw it to the landfill. We're not doing our jobs if we just go to the landfill. So what you're seeing here right now, what you're seeing right now are the materials that are collected. Yung pinaglagyan ng suka, pinanggalingan ng soft drink, ng shampoo, tapos mga lata ng mga soft drinks at glass. Ang susunod, yung mga metals, mga pinang-spray, di lang sa buhok, pamatay ng mga ipis, pampabango, pati yung mga tsokolate ng mga kinakain, lahat yan. Multi-layer plastics, pati yung foil ng mga gamot, pati face mask. So, what is the benefit of the MRF? Okay. The objective of the MRF is to have at least 5 to 15% na lang ang pupunta sa landfill. So what we are doing, our business model is we are making sure that what we get from some malls, because we are a service provider of SM malls, some of their malls, the garbage will hindi lahat ng 100% na kinolekta aakyat sa landfill. Our target is 5 to 15%. And because we have technology and we're upgrading even more, we have another equipment arriving in a few months, we are able to do upcycling at hindi lang recycling. So what it happens right now, pag walang MRF, tataas lang ang landfill and nagsasaraduhan ang mga landfill ngayon, hindi pwede, yun ang hindi sustainable kasi puro itatapon lamang sa bundok. Yung bundok, pupuno yan eh. So the landfills with MRF are only a very small portion of the waste produced goes to the landfill because of our intervention. The process with all the different types of recyclable mix with all the solid waste and organic waste can also be recycled through composting. Kaya nung nakita ko yung mga bucket ng green space, tapos sabi ko, wow, ang galing dahil may mga composting. Yan, pwedeng gawin sa mga bahay. Why don't we also do it in big companies? But what we can do is really to work together. So what are the future? What is the future of D&G's projects? I'd like to show you a form board, okay, that is produced by multi-layer plastics. Our machine processes mga plastic na mga pinulot namin from multinational companies. We have agreements with multinational companies and cement factories. The most recent is a company in Europe, and they have identified D&G Pacific to be their upcycling company in the Philippines. This is their first initiative, and when this becomes successful, the plan of the multinational company is to ask us to replicate what is being done here to the different Southeast Asian countries where I actually lived. I lived in several Southeast Asian countries, and pati daw Africa, dadalhin nila, pati sa ibang mga bansa. So yung boards nagiging ganito, mas matibay pa sa marine plywood, mas matibay pa sa mga phenolic boards, at mas hindi pa nasusunog kaagad, at saka ma-recycle. Ito talagang recycling. Ito hindi lang recycling, but this is upcycling. I'd like to read my notes para hindi ko lang makalimutan. That when we build a plant that makes this, we call it wow boards. Ito, nilagyan pa ng mga takip, no? This board makes use of plastic as its main component. This is done with a company for the extended producer responsibility because they want to be plastic neutral. With our coming in X number of years, they will be plastic neutral, and they will also use that information to tell the world na responsible na kumpanya sila, na whatever they produce, na-upcycle nila. EPR is a policy approach under which producers, manufacturers are given significant responsibility, and I'm sure yung mga nakikinig, naiintindihan nyo naman kung ano yung EPR. For the treatment or disposal of their post-consumer products. Kaya exciting. One day, nakakuha kami ng tawag at saka email, at tapos in-invite kami if they can be their partners in Europe. Ang D&G Pacific ang first partner sa Asia. So the wall boards may be used for construction, or if it's laminated like this, it may be used to make furniture. This is a very good example where recycled materials are turned into a new product. So, what is the point? When we clean for our clients, we have property developers, big ones, and construction companies. When we clean, we manage their garbage room, we upcycle, not just recycle, and actually, sila rin yung bibili ng mga produkto. They've committed, silang bibili ng produkto na naging pinanggalingan ng kanilang garbage. So, interesting. At saka, first yan in Asia, hindi lang first in the Philippines. So, the second project is a Plastic for Food Exchange program. The plastics that were collected will be used to make bricks with plastic materials that can also be used for construction works. So, our last slide is a message to everybody that our company aims to provide the end-to-end property waste management solutions that would ensure long-term benefits to the homeowners, residents, and whole community where they belong. It is our most sincere intention to be able to contribute to maintaining a sustainable, clean, and green environment. We are in this industry to make a positive mark on planet Earth, and we would like to work and be partners with you, SM Hotels and Conventions and SM Group of Companies, because we know that you will be able, you have the, not just the network, but you have the facilities, and you have communities that will make what we are doing as really sustainable. So like what I mentioned in one of our talks in Boston, tinatanong nila, what is sustainability in the Philippines? Sabi ko, itong ginagawa natin ngayong umaga. Sustainability is community. It's not about just technology. It's not just about one person or one customer. We have to put our resources together like what Chef Leah is doing. Pinagsama-sama tayong lahat. May practice pa. O natuto pa tayo kung paano lumabas sa webinar, pero hindi lang yan. This is really something that we cannot do on our own. Different industries will come together, and that is what we are trying to do. So that ends the presentation.
Thank you, Edmond.